What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Welcome in. You guys can't see Ted's beautiful face, but you will soon whenever he decides to turn on his camera. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Ted. If you guys haven't heard, we are expecting a guest today, potentially a special guest too, but we'll see what happens with the special guest. But our guest today is going to be Jarhead. He's one of our ambassadors for AGB charity. He is a fellow Marine. I'll let him do his intro because I think it's awesome every time he does it. And it's impressive that he doesn't even take a breath. But he's running a little late. He had to go help the wife with something at work. So we're just waiting for him, and which, again, allows us to do what we always do. And that is check on each other. Ted, how you been this last week? Okay. Uh-huh. So I didn't want to tell you because I wanted you to feel it. So after a day and a half going into your, like, the tail end of that second day, which is exactly when it happened for you, it hits you so hard. Your body goes, "Hey, have you forgotten about me? I need food." Yeah. Okay. Is Ted muted? Ted, talk. Ted, give me conversation. Yeah, Ted is muted.
Can you hear me?
You can hear him now. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
That's on me.
I'm so sorry, you guys. Oh, okay, so yeah, so I hit the wall like I texted you that last one at 40 hours.
Right.
At 41 hours, I was just like, woo, 41:30, 41:45, somewhere thereabouts. And I was like, all of a sudden, I'm like, my heart rate went up
Right.
and stuff like that. And my vision got a little, woo. I probably could have laid down and drunk some more water and stuff, but
Uh huh.
I went ahead on your recommendation. I ordered jars of the bone broth so I can be ready for it next time. And better be better equipped to do it next time too. Whew. But yeah, you weren't
Uh,
lying, bro. It hit me.
so again, if for people that missed out because I fucked up on again, my computer did a big reset, so all my sound got resetted for some weird reason. And I
Oh,
forgot to do that, but Ted's good now. But Ted was talking about how he's down 40 pounds, and that he started his first, or attempted to do his first 72-hour water fast. And that's what Ted's talking about right now. And for everybody starting out for your first time doing a water fast, I recommend doing it the way that Gary Brecka told Dana White to do it. It works. It's sustainable. You can actually go past 72 hours, which again is you're supplementing instead of having water for 72 hours, which is rough, which is extremely rough. The first day is 24 hours of straight water. Do not do anything besides water for 24 hours. On your second day and your third day, I recommend you getting a pint of the most barest of bonus bone broth as you could possibly get.
Yeah.
The Kirkland one's pretty good. If you guys go to Costco's, it's really good. They have this other one. Man, it's the one I usually get because I don't go to Costco to get stuff. Because I literally just go there and buy 2 pints. But 2 pints of that stuff cost what a like 8-pack at Costco would cost. That's how expensive this stuff is. But it's really good. And they come with different flavors. And the one flavor I typically get is the turmeric one, because turmeric is a natural anti-inflammatory. So I get bone broth with turmeric in it. So I'm like double whamming it, right?
Nice, yeah.
And I typically will do half the pint for breakfast and half the pint for like an early dinner, right? And then throughout the day on the second and third day, that's what I do. And I also add some type of mineral salt or Celtic sea salt. I use Baja Gold mineral salt.
Nice.
It actually has more minerals, and it's actually better than Celtic because it just has more in it. And I use that for like a midday electrolyte burst.
Yeah.
So how is that first meal, and how did your asshole feel after you ate your first meal?
Okay, so a friend of mine like told me like, okay, so I was drinking water the whole time, and I'll get to the meal, right?
It's funny. He hasn't told me pre-show, but again, I've done this plenty of times, and so I know what Ted went through. As soon as he ate some food, I know what he went through.
Woo!
Well, about a half hour, would you say, Ted? Not even?
Yeah, about a half hour.
Guys, get ready. Go ahead, Ted. Go ahead.
A half hour evac. So, yeah, so I'm drinking the water, and then like first thing in the morning, he told me to put a little bit of my asshole feels good. What about cheers? What's up, Nate? Fucking Nate. So I put a little bit of salt in the water, drank that, and then I would use some squeezes of lemon in the water the whole time, and then funny you said about turmeric and all that stuff. I was actually using this golden paste with turmeric, pepper, ginger, and a couple other things I forget, cayenne pepper, and I ate like a tablespoon of that in the morning and I just drank water all day long. When I got started feeling hunger pangs, I would just drink a glass of water and then just drive on. I was just keeping busy and just doing stuff. It felt great. And then, yeah, what Beard said was very true. I hit that wall, man, and I was just like, whew, like my, heart rate went up. I was up at like 113, 130,
right.
In that window, just all of a sudden, like, woo. And then, I went ahead and grabbed a meal. Like he said, a half hour later, it was Evac City. Woo! Quickly.
So
quick, brother.
I'm going to explain that feeling. So when you hit that wall,
Jarhead's in the waiting room. Can I pull him in? We can keep talking about our stuff.
Go ahead, pull him in. Yeah. Pull him in.
Hey.
What up, Jarhead?
Oh boy.
Can you camera into Discord, please?
I can do that. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on, just for you.
All
right. Just
damn, guys, look at that. We get a private view of his setup. So when you guys hit that again, that tail end of that that second day, you get this like weird tingly sensation in your body. Ooh. Like you almost like you're not lightheaded, but your body's starting to do something. And medically, it's when your body is like, because the first 24 hours, your body goes, oh fuck, panic mode. Let's start burning all this energy that we have inside. So it turns to your fat. It goes to your storage. Fat is your stored energy. It starts burning that. And then it's expecting like, hey, I'm hungry. I'm telling you I'm hungry, but you're still not giving me shit. But your body then starts creating what it needs to survive.
Welcome.
Was that you?
What's that?
The welcome sound? No. Oh, hey, our fucking alerts are working. Hey, I did that today literally like 10 minutes ago. Hey. We did it. Guys, I did it. I've accomplished things today.
I'm so excited.
And then your body starts creating all these like it starts telling it to create all the survival stuff to kind of keep itself running. So like they talk about like your body starts triggering stem cells and all this other shit. So it's weird. Like what that 72 that last 24 hours apparently is like epic for your body.
Well, that's
but
what I wanted to get to because
you feel like shit though.
I was in what is called the autophagy phase.
That's it.
Okay?
Yep.
So I was already at 24 hours. I was feeling like I was on a fucking high, bro, because you're in gluconeogenesis and catabolism, and all that raise up, and your growth hormones spike. And then when I hit the autophagy phase, that's when all that shit started happening. I was like, what the fuck is going on? You know, I was like, whoa. But my cousin was, you know, like I told you, she lives up in Jersey. She's a fucking mental health guru and all that shit, physical fitness guru, holistic healer. And she told me the same thing. She goes, you're at 40 hours right now? Okay, honey. She's all, it's about to get spiritual for you.
Buckle up.
Like, oh, shit, right?
Buckle up.
And then it did. And my wife was
You're
like,
ready.
Kenny, just fucking eat something, please, please. I don't like the look on your face. I'm like, I think I'll be okay. We're about to go see your grandkid. Fucking eat something right now.
Yeah. Again, people that again typically don't have good health, like daily health habits, and you're using this to reset or jumpstart that. You have to be very careful because your body's so used to that constant. The carb intake, the sugar intake, all the intake that you're throwing into your body. Your body's so used to that, you can drop your blood sugar and then you can fucking pass out. So you got to be very careful about that stuff.
And me and my size, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm 55. I'm pre-diabetic and all that shit. So I don't know how I don't have diabetes already. So.
And
pre-diabetic, not post-diabetic. Not there yet.
God. Yeah,
so
brother,
because I feel like we're being rude. Welcome to the Buddy Check podcast, Jarhead.
Welcome.
How are you doing?
We're okay.
Okay.
Had a little our first today. We had our first official talk with a VA psych today.
How'd that go for you?
It was kind of just the basic kind of, they gathered information, kind of, they really, I don't want to say lackluster, but it was like I was super, super nervous. So I was getting myself really amped up and excited for it and nervous about it. But then it was just kind of, he just was kind of like, all right, what about this? You know, how was your upbringing and who raised you and blah, blah, blah. It kind of just went out, or the basic 30-minute stuff, live stuff. And I kind of felt like a little bit, kind of like I had to lead him into things to inquire about some stuff like military. But overall, I mean, I'm going to go through the process. I have plenty of people say, hey, go through the process. They have to go through these steps before they really start getting after the problem behind everything. So I'm trying to go through the steps, trying to go through the process because I hate hypocrisy. I hate hypocrites. So if I'm going to sit here and go, hey, go get some help, go talk to someone, I should probably go talk to someone myself.
Okay.
So,
you know, it was weird for me too. I recently have gone through at the VA locally here too. And that first session, it felt like it was a gathering of information and we're filling out this thing and, you know, and she's talking to me about these things and we filled out this little chart and how I felt on certain issues today. And I was just kind of like, what the fuck is this? And then the next session, man, it was, we got going like right away. She knew what she wanted to talk about, where she wanted to pull me into, and got me talking. So I wish you the best, my brother, for sure.
Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Well, for you guys that don't know who Jarhead is, and I love hearing him do it, Jarhead, take your deep breath. Give me your fucking epic intro, and then we'll get it. We'll
get my intro now.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Yeah,
guys, get ready to clip this shit because it's hilarious.
Right, it is.
Not to put him on the spot. See, I told you we got questions, but I'm going to throw some curveballs your way, and I expect you to perform.
Okay. All right, for everyone who does not know who I am, I'm Jarhead. I'm a 4 United States Marine Corps veteran, served from 2008 to 2012, stationed out of Jacksonville, North Carolina, Camp Lejeune. I was an 03, 41, 81 millimeter mortarman, medically separated from the Marine Corps after sustaining injuries. Started streaming in July of 2021 to help build a family for those with anxiety, depression, people, place, come chill, the vibe, to hang, relax, get to know each other, to build a bond with each other, remind each other you can never change your past, but you can sure as hell change your future. With that being said, if you got any further questions, please feel free to ask. I'll do my damn to answer every possible question that you may or may not have. At worst case scenario, I say, you know what, I don't feel comfortable answering this question, and we move on to the next. So welcome on into this family. We are a good, loving family here. We help people find the good, their positivity in their life, the reason to keep on moving forward and keep on fighting. So stay tuned because it's going to be fun. There we go.
Guys, that was fucking great. I love hearing him do it. I watched him do it live at DreamHack, and I was just like, this guy just doesn't he doesn't miss. He doesn't miss.
You got an army dog barking, bro. Fuck.
We get used to it after a while, you know. We just roll with it.
But with that, we're gonna go ahead and start. So if you guys don't know, Jarhead is an ambassador for AGB charity. We are gonna start a stream of week to week on this Buddy Check podcast. We are actually gonna be try to interview all of our ambassadors. We're gonna try to get to everybody in the next coming weeks. Jarhead just happened to be the one to respond first, so Jarhead got the first luck of this draw right here, and I'm just so happy because Marines lead the way. So fuck you guys. But so that's what we're going to be doing in the next coming weeks with the Buddy Check podcast. And like he said, he was a United States Marine. Why the Marine Corps?
Besides the simple answer, if you're going to go in the military, you might as well go into the best branch possible. And the dress blues are sexy. I mean, come on. Nothing touches the dress blues.
Who's the oldest branch?
What was your MOS?
Still the trashiest.
Yeah.
What was your MOS, Jar?
I was an 0341. I was a 81 millimeter mortarman.
Nice.
So were you you were in a weapons platoon?
I was in a weapons company. Yep.
A weapons company. All right. So for you guys that don't know, mortarmen go into a battalion, an infantry battalion, just like the machine gunners, 51s and all that stuff. We get attached to 0311s, the basic infantrymen. When you go to a line platoon, which is an infantry, like an 0311 platoon, they get a fourth platoon called weapons platoon, where the mortarmen there don't get to do 81 millimeters. They do 60 millimeters. Correct? Right.
Correct. Yep,
So but then you go, there's always 4 companies too. Well, there's only 4 real companies in the battalion, right? Right. And in the companies, there's only 4 real platoons. But weapons company is comprised of the bigger guns, like the real big guns, right? So you got your 81 millimeters, you got your tow gunners, you got basically strictly 50 cals and Mark 19s. So there's really no infantry like 0311. So weapons company typically is the bulk of like the support and like all the big guns on the trucks, especially with the tow gunners. So that's unique because I didn't get to do that. I was attached to a line platoon, and I was loaned out to an infantry squad where you didn't get to do that.
No. Yeah. So our job is any like you said, weapons company is basically their whole job is support. It's fire gets called in for us for 81s. Fire gets called in. Our guys need help on the front line, or we have a enemy that's bunkered down or inside of a building or behind a wall. We're indirect fire. We're going up and over that barricade and getting behind that barricade where obviously rounds are more direct, or rifles are more direct fire.
And so for you guys also that don't know, that sometimes we don't have all the support that we need from the rest of the military, where if we can't get arty or if we can't get air on station, the next best thing is 81 millimeter mortars because they can touch out. Could you remember the max effective range on those things indirectly?
Oh,
God. Put them on the spot, guys. See, I told you.
I couldn't.
That's not one of the questions.
If you would have given me this, I would have had all the stats and I would have had everything set up and ready to go.
Guys, full disclosure, I did send him a list of questions. I told him a couple. I sent him 35 questions. That wasn't 35. One of them. Yeah. I told him I was going to keep him on his toes.
Oh, yep.
Okay, so you joined the Marine Corps because it's the best branch. But seriously, what about the Marine Corps really appealed to you besides how hot you look in a uniform and obviously clearly no comparison being the best branch?
Right. So I mean, kind of like what made me even look at the military period was my
Good.
grandfather. My grandfather was he was in the army, he was in the Korean War.
Wow. Okay.
Um
Nice.
and he was basically my father figure growing up. He was a guy who I really looked up to, who kind of guided me through life on how to kind of be more of a man. Um as I was growing up, and so I already knew being with him as much as I did that I wanted to be in the military no matter what. And then honestly, it was just the group of friends I had in high school. That's kind of we all got together and we all a group of us went through was going to go into the military, and we all kind of just decided honestly on the Marine Corps. That's what we wanted to do.
Okay.
It's so obviously helped also with the movie Jarhead coming out right before we were able to sign up.
Right.
So that kind of persuaded, but it was just honestly, we were just a bunch of young, dumb kids in high school that was like, all right, let's go do something cool with our life after. None of us are going to college. What military can we go into? And that was kind of where life put us.
And because
Nice.
you spoke too fast for my brain to comprehend. What years did you enlist?
2008 to 2012.
So
Nice.
I'm a senior. I enlisted 2006. So eat a dick, you boot. And in your
We can
service,
tell. We can see it on your face.
yeah. So with that said, in 2008, you joined. Obviously, you go through boot camp. You go through School of Infantry, SOI. For you people, that like acronyms, SOI. Where'd you get?
ITB.
Well, that's for the Army.
ITB, Infantry Training Battalion. SOI was for Pogues.
No, that's MCT. Again, back
Anyways,
in my day, it was the School of
sorry,
Infantry.
I interrupted. I apologize. You were deep in thought.
School of Infantry. So, but after that, when you hit the fleet, where'd you go?
So I got stationed down in Jacksonville, North Carolina,
Okay,
on Camp Lejeune.
What? Shot him out. Who with?
With 3rd Battalion, 6th Marines, the true one and only TEFL-Hunden.
All right, relax. 5th Marines was there too, bitch.
Ah.
So I was with 1-5, so I was a 5th Marine. So if you guys don't know little Marine Corps history, the 5th and 6th Marine Regiment are probably some of the most famous and most awarded regiments in the Marine Corps for the battles in World War I, World War II, and I believe there's another one that I'm forgetting, but that we're famous in those two wars.
Yep.
Belleau Wood got the French 4J from the French. We're the only two infantry regiments outside, because the Army has French 4Js that they wear with their uniform. Marine Corps, there's only 2 regiments that gets to wear them. It's the 5th and 6th Marines. So we were one of them because you're 6th Marine. And we also keyed the name Devil Dog TEFL-Hunden. Mostly it was the 6th Marines because it was the bulk of the forces were them, but the 5th Marines were there, bitch.
Okay. All right. We get it.
So moving a little bit more with their military stuff. So you get to 3-6.
Yep.
Where'd you go after deployment wise?
So
what
I
year?
honestly,
what years?
I honestly I didn't get to deploy
because you got hurt.
Which is a bunch of my problems, my mental health wise, is
okay.
No one joins the Marine Corps, and then B joins infantry to not go overseas and do what we signed up to do.
How did that happen? If you want to walk us
through. We were supposed to deploy in August of 2009 to Marja. Ooh. And and so about a couple weeks before our deployment, someone's wife went on Facebook and shared all of our deployment information, all of our flight information, everything basically we were given. She posted it all over Facebook, and so they canked our deployment, and our BC, our battalion commander, got really upset with it, and he said, you know what, we're going to cancel this, but because of this, we're going to go on a 7-day round robin. Like the next day that they canceled it, they sent us out to the field. So we went out to the field for 7 days, and as an 81, one of our phrases that we had was, if we can't truck it, fuck it. basically, if we don't have trucks to take us from point A to point B, we're not hiking. We're not carrying our barrel that's 25 pounds, our base plate that's about 30 pounds, and then our bipods that are 25 pounds, plus all
Jesus.
the ammo that we needed and everything else. So, but they said, nope, we are here. We're getting dropped off here. We got 10 miles. We got to hike with full gear and everything else, weapon systems over there to our next site. And we got to be there by, I think they gave us maybe uh 8 hours or something like that, in between 5 and 8 hours to get there. So we strapped everything on. We were going. Um, I think I had the base plate or maybe the bipods on my back. And I think 2 rounds of ammo. And buddy behind me was carrying the barrel, and he was hiking, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna fall out." I said, "Nope, keep stepping, keep putting feet in front, keep putting the feet in front of you, you just keep moving, keep moving." He's like, "No, I'm gonna fall out." And I'm like, "All right." So I said, "Next rest stop, I'll take it." Um, our guys we were all pretty much gassed, and I was like, "All right, throw it on. We're just gonna keep on hiking. We're gonna keep moving." So I had threw the barrel on the back of my pack, kept my base plate, give my guys a few times to rest their legs and their back, and then I made it about 200 to 300 yards, and the strap that goes between the shoulder straps in the middle to support and kind of take the tension off your shoulders, it snapped and it flung backwards, and then that force pulled my shoulders back and then dislocated my collar where your collarbones connect to your sternum, those little like ball joints right there, uh blew those out of socket. So it kind of tore cartilage and everything kind of out of there. So they just float there now. They pop if I move wrong or do an exercise wrong, they kind of pop in and out of socket. So
No
little
shit.
yeah, yeah.
And so that was enough.
And so that was enough. Yep, I went through physical therapy. So my guys ended up deploying. They deployed right before the New Year's.
Okay.
Um and they left me behind because
Ah,
obviously I was on light duty.
Right.
Um
Damn, it's gotta be
and
rough.
then
mm,
I went through physical therapy. I went and saw a bunch of doctors, surgeons. I went to Duke University. They sent me up there, and they're like, "There's nothing we can do because it's a joint. You can't fuse it. You can't put a
mm,
screw in it. You can't because that controls everything. You
Yeah.
can't move your arms without that being able to be mobile."
yeah.
So went through a bunch of physical therapy, and then February of 2012. I think it was like 4 months before my actual 4-year contract was up. They medically separated me.
And you were going through
So,
physical therapy the entire time?
mhm,
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
yep. So I went
It's
through
so hard.
about 2.5, 3 years of physical therapy just to be able to. So I tried a couple times to get off light duty.
Mhm.
So I passed the PFT. And then they're like, "All right, cool. Here's a backpack with the standard size amount of weight. Here's a treadmill. Now you got to make it 3 miles without failing, without basically being in pain."
Okay.
Um, so I couldn't pass that.
Wow.
I think I usually average about 2 miles, give or take, kind of pushing through it. And then they're like, "No, no."
Yeah.
I tried switching my MOS. I was like, "Well, make me admin, make me anything just to be able to stay in." And they're like, "Nope. Every Marine's an infantryman. Every Marine's deployable. So we can't have it as your liability." Is basically
Wow.
what I was told.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
yeah.
Wow. That's
That's
gotta
really
be rough.
hard.
Especially that's gotta be rough because you guys probably, again, typically Marine Corps contracts, you deploy twice. So they deployed right before the new year. Right. So
Mhm.
actually I got back that year. So that's the year I got back. That 2009 December 13th, I think, is when we landed back in the States. Right.
Okay.
So I had just gotten back from what essentially was setting up and surrounding Marja. Right. So the Marine Corps eventually did push through and infiltrated Marja with the help of special forces. And
Yep.
I believe,
They 336 was actually one of the spears to that push on that
Mm.
first deployment I missed.
right. So that was early 2010. right? And I think that
Yep.
they took it over by March. So they deployed early 2010, and I think by March of 2010, Marja was ours. If I can get my facts right, because I follow that deployment a lot because, again, a lot of us didn't want to come home. We liked what we did
Right.
over there, and they were talking about that was where you're going to go if you can extend, or if your company and your battalion lets you guys extend, this is what you're going to do. And they're like, who wants to extend? And I can tell you, out of the almost 1,000 guys in my company, Alpha Company 1-5, 80% of the guys rose their hands. You're talking at least 800 guys with their hands raised, like, oh no, I'll stay. We don't want to. We'll do another 7-8 months. We'll be here. And they're like, yeah, nah, that's that. That looks. If it was like a handful, maybe, but no. So they sent us all home. They sent us all home. So I listen. I get it, and you can just look on everybody's faces. Nobody was going to let anybody else go, right? Because of the camaraderie, which is what kind of what I want to hit next with you. Because I can imagine how mentally tough that was for you, watching your guys leave, and being a Marine in an infantry unit, that's all you want to do. That's what you sign. Like, there's certain, like, obviously certain branches, that you're probably not gonna be boots on the ground overseas, like front lines, but you join specifically the Marine Corps because of that reason, and to not be able to do that because you got hurt prior to a deployment, and then watching everybody that basically, at least for me, they became my family. My family doesn't really family, and that's the closest thing I've ever had to my infantry, second platoon platoon sergeant, Staff Sergeant O'Brien, R.I.P. He died of brain cancer after the fact. Became my father. I looked up to him. He was my fucking hero, and I would have died for anybody in any of my Marines. So I can imagine you probably felt the same.
100%.
And so while you're going through your therapy, right? So you're back home. They leave. You're going through your therapy. What was your mental health like, being that you're hurt and your boys are over there?
Trash. It was 100. It was absolute trash at that point in time.
Were you married?
Because a lot of them.
Were you married?
I was at that time. I was. Yeah. Yes.
Get the question right.
Yes, I was married at that time.
If she happens to be watching, you better get that fucking question right.
Yeah.
Okay.
My ex.
Oh, your ex-wife, your first wife.
No,
okay.
My first wife. Yes, my son's mom.
Okay.
But no, my mental health was absolute trash. A lot of the guys that were in my unit, I think there was about almost 50 of us from my school that all went to 3-6.
Yeah, okay.
So there was about 25 of those guys who were from boot camp.
Wow.
So 25 of them I've at least known since boot camp, like going through and being even in like my unit, sleeping in the barracks with them and everything, and then now not being there with them for everything that we fought to be able to go do, and we all push each other to be able to go do. Like you said, they were my family. I was 100% going to make sure that if I could, if I was able to make sure someone else made it home instead of me, I was gonna do it. I was gonna jump in that grenade and make sure that everyone else made it home. If that means if I had to put my life on the line to make sure that happened. So the fact that I wasn't able to do that was horrendous. I was always worrying about, who's making it back, what's going on, always asking the light duty company that we were with, have you heard anything back? Have you heard anything? Have you heard anything? How are we doing? And the news is always posting faces of people who have passed during combat and this and that and missions and everything. So it was very heart-wrenching.
Wow. Now I know we're gonna get into it a little bit later, but I know that your big thing is mental health and overcoming all the darkness that a lot of veterans go through on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But would you say that were you being told that you could potentially come back when you were going through your therapy? Did they did they give you something like some type of like inclination that, okay, like if this does heal right and you can pass, that physical test that you were talking about, you could potentially go back?
They kind of up until about the last 6 months.
Okay.
They kind of dangled that carrot out in front of me until the
Mm.
last 6 months before they're like, if you can just keep going through this therapy, keep going through therapy, we're gonna strengthen up the muscles around that joint to help assist that joint. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And then like the last 6 months, they were like, there's no point. Like let's just work on getting you out, getting you medically separated.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just start working on your exit paperwork, getting you to all those classes to be back as a civilian, so that way civilians don't scare you and you can actually kind of blend back in with civilian life. Yeah, so they dangled that carrot in front of me for quite a while.
So I asked that question, even though I prefaced you're big into mental health. Your guys being overseas and then that carrot being dangled in front of you, did you also find in that like shitty feeling of fuck, my guys are over there, they're getting it, and I'm not there to help them? Did you also did you somehow were you able to turn that into some kind of motivation to kind of push you to maybe push through the pain and the healing process?
It was kind of hard.
Okay.
Because during when they came back, so I was with a light duty company. They came back. I got put back with 3-6.
Okay.
Right back with my same company.
Uh-huh.
And everyone except for maybe 2 or 3 guys from my company, from the entire battalion, like shunned me pretty much. They were like, you weren't there, you didn't deploy with us, you don't understand. And pretty much everyone, a good majority of the people who we lost over there, they put it on me. They're like, you should have been there. If you were there, if we had an extra body, it could have probably brought home this person. It's your fault. It's your fault.
Wow.
You don't understand. And then yeah, so there's maybe a couple of guys that really were like, hey, we understand what happened. So that was kind of like, I was angry. I was this family that I was going to do anything for, kind of just I felt isolated. I felt alone. I felt this, but I wanted to prove them wrong. So that honestly, that part really motivated me. Like, I'm going on the next deployment. I'm gonna get better. I'm going on the next deployment. I'm gonna prove them wrong. I'm gonna get back in everyone's good graces. I need to get back in this family because I need this family. I need that sense of like I deserve to be here. And so that part motivated me a lot, to where like, all right, I need to get back out there again. I need to get back in the fight. I need to go with these guys on the next deployment. And then the next deployment went without me again, and yeah, that it was rough.
So, so I can tell you this, personal experience. This is more of me, Marine to Marine here. I went on both of my deployments, and when we lost our, like, again, we deployed with other units, and a lot of the other units, they lost guys. We never lost guys, right? We went, when we were in this shit for months and months and months. You go on a patrol, you're guaranteed to get in a firefight. You're guaranteed to get ambushed. There's IED threats everywhere. And we were, doing doubles, sometimes even triples, and we're trying to break up the squads when we're doing the triples because, we're trying to keep people rested, and, hey, this team, you're going to take, the Afghan nationals, you're going to go here. And that's what ended up happening. It was something that came up last minute. Platoon leader was like, hey, third squad, you're on rotation. Well, second platoon, third squad. And we need at least 4 guys to go on patrol. But you guys have a morning patrol too. So figure it out. And so my squad leader, who I thought was like the big brother, right? Senior guy, big brother. He goes, hey, we kind of been, because again, I'm a 51, I'm an I-11, so I wasn't officially a team leader, but I was so I was just so into it that I learned from them. I wanted to learn. I was there. I could have been sleeping, but I was up learning, map overlays, how they debrief, how they brief, how I was just learning because I just wanted to learn. And so he's like, hey, listen, we've been kind of like working you, but not really. But I think you can handle taking, 3 other guys and the Afghan army out on a little OP patrol and just like staying there for a couple hours and then coming back. And I said, yeah, I could totally do that. Give me the 3 guys, give me 3 guys. And so they did. They gave me 3 other Marines. And we went out, came back. As we were coming back, they're already gearing up to go on their morning patrol. They got some sleep, so they got some rest. I was like, all right, cool. I did the guys a favor. Now I get to sleep, and then we'll go, we'll get some sleep and we'll go for the, the later patrol. They step out. They're on the way out. They do their thing. They're on the way back. They're 800 meters from our cob. ID goes off. We lose our first Marine. It happened to be my squad. Happened to be one of the junior guys. And the 3 team leaders, the other saw gunner, the squad leader, and our main interpreter all got hurt, all got sent back. And I'm like, me and the other 3 Marines were like, fuck, we should have been there. Like, why weren't we there? Like, we could have done it. Like, we could have just done that, gone to patrol, and then fuck it. That's what we're here for. Fuck it. And so I understand that feeling of that, like, that guilt of like not being there and thinking that like you could have changed something, you could have done something. But in reality, right? In reality, you probably couldn't.
Right.
Because we're not Rambo, right? We think we are, but we're not. So it's like,
right.
It's like, yeah, I would have fucking saw it. Yeah, I would have fucking shot that dude in the face. Yeah, no, that just wouldn't have happened.
Right.
But probably not.
Or at least it would have been me. Like,
right.
It's like that survivor's guilt. It could have, at least it could have been me,
And it's upsetting that the brothers, knowing that you helped somebody out before you got hurt, which led to your injury, to come back. And again, they're obviously dealing with their own PTSD. They're dealing with the shit that they saw. So I understand both sides, but to come back home and completely shun you and to put that on you, I think is more of a escapism type of thing. Like, hey, no, you know what? It wasn't my fault. It was his fault because he should have been there, right? It was just them misdealing their trauma, I think. Right.
Unloading, yeah.
100%.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So they come back, they shun you. You obviously kept going. Then you felt a little bit motivated to prove them wrong and get back to your boys. Obviously, that didn't happen. You get separated.
Yep.
I know the answer to this question. When you realized that you were going to get separated from the military because of your injury that you could never recover from, one, how did you take that, knowing that they're going to just kick you out because you're broken? And then once you got out, where was your mental health then?
It was, all-time low. It was damn near all-time low.
Worse than before.
I had goals, and I'm like, shit, I'm graduating. I'm graduating high school at 19. I do my 20 years. I'm going to retire by 39, and then I can start up whatever other job I want. Right. So now I already got a pension. I'm set up at 39 years old in my life, and if I really want, I can get a side gig going on, and then now I'll be able to really live my life. And what 39-year-old does want to be able to get out there and start living their life and whatnot,
Right.
But it was bad. I mean, when I got out, like I obviously got out early, so that when they medically separate you, they give you a severance check basically to cover your last whatever bit of your contract, depending on your percentage and stuff. So I got out, and it was honestly, it was just a lot of drinking. It was just a lot of, I had nothing to worry. I didn't have, and even at the end of like towards like the last bit of my bit, it was, hey, formations at 0600. I'm good. I drink the night before, and they'd call me, and my sergeant would be like, hey, where you at? Formation was 3 hours ago. yeah, okay, cool. Like I'm not going. You might as well just count me as I'm not there. You know, you guys you abandoned me. I've already been told I'm getting out. There's no chance of me staying in. I'm I'm just gonna kind of, and then once I really got away from that whole formation thing and actually out of the military and I had no job because I was waiting for my DD-214 because the VA was being slow. Um then it was just, hey, we're just gonna party. We're just gonna hang out and drink and bury myself in a bottle pretty much, because woe was me. I didn't get to do my 20 years. I didn't get to do my job. I actually pushed and thrived for 6 months straight to achieve. So,
Wow.
Hmm.
Now
You know,
you said you were married. Did that lead to your divorce, or was that after?
um, no, no, we got divorced before that.
You had to before you got out.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Go ahead, Ted. You wanted to ask something.
yeah, no, I mean, these, experiences obviously really shaped you. I mean, because, one minute you're on the top of your game and it was debilitating. And
Mhm.
especially, I know the feeling. I've seen those guys leaving without you, and then you get hurt. And I was put on a permanent profile. And next thing you know, all my friends that I just got through phases of training with and ready to go. And 7 days later, they were leaving, and I got hurt. I hurt my back, and next thing you know, you're on a permanent profile, and everyone else is gone. And
Right.
you're like, "What the fuck, man?" It's daunting because when you're in training and shit, and you're getting ready, and man, they strip all that doubt, they strip all that old person out of you, and really build you up and build you up into the most incredible human being that you can be. You're a fucking machine ready to go,
Oh yeah.
and then all of a sudden, it's all like taken out
Yep.
from you. It was tough. I did the same thing. I did a lot of drinking, drugs, and partying and shit to just try to feel better. And I had friends tell me, "Man, I'm so glad to hear you got hurt because of the shit that they saw." And guys that I served with, guys that I still talk to today, that were just like, "It's a blessing that you got hurt, Ted." You know, honestly, but it's still hard. You can't compute all that shit. I was depressed like a motherfucker for a long fucking time.
Oh yeah.
And just
100%.
now got hurt, bro. I've been out 20 years.
Right.
Just got help just now, bro. 20 years. 2 months ago, I got help. So I'm really glad to hear you're getting help, man. I really
I
am.
appreciate
Because
it, man.
these things really shape you.
They do.
And it's hard, man, because we all keep it up in here and locked in.
Right.
Tough.
So trying to transition here.
Yeah.
Positively, what did you take from your time in service? What did the Marine
So
Corps teach you?
that, you hit that wall and you keep going until your body completely and utterly breaks down. So there's plenty of times now it's like, okay, I can do one more step. I
Right.
don't know how many times during those stupid freaking ruck marches I'm looking at the ground and I'm taking a step and I'm like, please just roll my ankle, please just let my knee give out, let my ankle give out. And then I'm looking at this dude next to me who is 5'2", little itty bitty dude, and he just keeps going. I'm like, okay, I can let him take one more step more than me. And you just realize, like, you find that motivation, you find that place in your mind where you're like, okay, one more step. All right, one more step. All right, keep on. Okay, it's gonna be this next, and you find that zone that we all end up experiencing, kind of like what you guys were talking about with like the diet, right?
Yeah.
You eventually get so exhausted that there's like that bliss moment where you're like, it's like your second wind, right? You just all of a sudden you're like, oh, all of a sudden my body doesn't really hurt that much anymore. Oh, I all of a sudden I've got this extra little burst of energy, like it like kicks your body kicks into like second gear, and you're like, oh, there is a little bit more in the tank, there is a little bit more strength, there is. So just that, and obviously just the mental fortitude it builds, the physical that it builds, just those he said, but and then obviously just the skills that it teaches you, obviously being infantry, it's a little bit harder to go to a job interview and say they go, what things do you have? No, you know what? I really know how to shoot something from 500 yards away with iron sights before ACOGs were at the range.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
but I can do that. I can drop a Nerf football on top of your head from 500 yards, 5 miles away, or whatever our range was at. You know what I mean? But it's the leadership skills that you're taught
Yep.
that a lot of places don't, a lot of jobs don't like, because you have those qualities and you do outshine your boss, and then your boss gets upset with you because, oh, you're outshining me. Wait, stop. Like, so what do you mean this is how a leader is supposed to be? And so on and so forth. But just those traits, those leadership traits that they teach you, to actually have legitimate integrity and stuff like that. It's those are things that I'll never let go of. Just those are things that stick with me to this day when
The
I'm,
core.
when I'm at the gym, when I'm at the gym, or when I'm arguing with someone, or when I'm driving down the road and I'm just trying to be like, all right, just like get myself back to center. I've been in worse places before. I've dealt with worse shit before. This is nothing. We got this.
Yeah.
I'm
Nice.
I'm really glad you brought that up, right? Because a lot of people, they talk about wolves and sheeps and sheep dogs, right?
Mhm.
And while you're in and you're running and gunning, you're definitely a wolf. And
Yeah.
what I think the mark that people miss when you're transitioning back into the real world is you no longer have to be that wolf, right? So it's hard to turn down off that switch, and but you can transition it even easier to becoming the sheepdog, where you protect the flock, you protect the
Right.
people that are just crunching numbers, and they're when you talked about, oh, you start outshining your boss because you ran in a business that literally had everything set down to the minute, even though for some reason they couldn't get out they couldn't get it perfect when you got out on time after, when the work was done. Why the hell are we
Right.
waiting here in formation for 2 hours when we could have been gone 2 hours ago? Like, what? They couldn't get
Right.
that right. But besides
Semper
that,
Gumby.
right. But besides that, you know, you had the right amount of bullets, you had the right amount of weight, you had the right amount of stuff in your pack, you had inspections after inspections after inspections after inspections. Like, you were so fine tuned and so fine, dialed that you know what it takes to run something effectively. And so,
Right.
and that's typically what I lead with when it comes to like going on, regular job interviews.
Mhm.
Is I don't tell people like, yeah, no, I could murder somebody with a knife, with my finger, with my pinky, with a spoon. Like, I could do all that. Like, I was trained.
Right.
Like, that's easy.
Yes.
Do this with my eyes closed. But instead, I lead with, yeah, in the military, being a combat job, I learned how to lead people in chaotic situations. I learned how to learn how to manage stress, which is that mental
Yep.
fortitude, which is kind of where I want to go into right now. You brought up mental fortitude, and I know your big thing is mental health. I'm going to let you kick that off here in a little bit, but it's funny how we learn how to be so mentally strong, but then when the rugs pulled out under us, we lose that. Why do you
Mhm.
think that is? That we're taught to be these tough, you know, deal with it, go through the pain. Pain is your friend. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. But then when you get put back in the real world and it's time to kind of apply that, because now you just got to try to figure out, adapt, and overcome, right? Like we're taught
Right.
how to do. Why do you think people find it so difficult to do that?
I
Okay, hit him with the
I don't.
tough questions, boys. Hit him with the tough
It
questions.
it is a little bit of tough,
Ah,
but I don't think we don't know how to mold it into a soft
mm,
approach or a soft way for people to actually properly be able to receive that information without thinking that we're attacking them.
mm,
Where, it's one thing to try to get information out there and like and relay stuff information to people, but if you don't relay it in a way that people can actually understand it and don't feel like you're assaulting them,
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
everything that you're telling them is going out the window.
Okay.
So I think for us, we realize that we need, like, obviously in my job, I try to, like, hey, stop being an idiot or smacking people around or whatever. Um, and sometimes it comes across a little asshole-ish. And I try to learn how to tune it to, okay, who am I talking to? How are they going to perceive? How's the best way they're going to take this information to implement it into what they're doing wrong and what I'm trying to correct without them turning their ears off. Um, so that way the information actually sits in. I think that's what is very hard for us because we don't got in the military, we don't got time to be to play patty cake, to be nice about, hey, we need this job done and we need it done now. The short, sweet, to the point. Hey, fuckface, get this shit done. Go it over there now. Do it now. And there's no time for roses or flowers or being nice about anything. It's get it done now. Stop asking me questions. You don't question it. You just, all right, cool. I'll shut up and get this job done, and then you move on. And there's no hard feelings. And then
Right.
if there is hard feelings, you drink together, you fight each other, you pick each other up, and then you keep drinking. I mean, that's just that, but that's not how it goes in the real world,
That was
you
the
know.
culture. That was the
Or
culture.
hey, after final formation, go meet me at the tree line. We're gonna drop blouses so that way there's no rank involved, and then we're gonna fight. We're gonna deal with it, or meet each other in the pit, and we're gonna duke it out. And all right, you're good. Yep, I'm good. Cool. We good again. Yep. All right, we're good. And then we move on. But we don't have that in civilian life. We don't have the,
Oh,
hey, meet me down at the Burger King down the road. We're gonna duke it out, or at the park down the road, or we're gonna duke it out, and then we're gonna get it all out on the table and press on and get the job done. So I think that is why it is so, people are, especially nowadays, they're so sensitive.
yeah.
You hurt my feeling, you can't do that, and we have all this paperwork that comes with it. So like me, like worrying about losing my job because
Yeah.
I said, hey fucker, and they're like, oh, you're harassing me, you're degrading me, blah blah blah. And then it's like, it's not harassment, or and just, hey fucker, it's a word. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, it's speech, freedom of speech. I fought for it. Did you? No. So
Right.
therefore, I'm implementing my freedom of speech. Like
That's
it's a
right.
word, and words hurt people. And I get words hurt people, but
Yeah, no,
in bad context.
I'm really glad you brought up, like, because I've had this similar conversations with people. Like, why are you an asshole? I'm like, I'm not an asshole. You're just soft.
Right.
And
Right.
and
You're sensitive.
right, and it's like, I honor Kurt's, commitment, integrity. There's, again, I it's kind of, I am proud of myself because again, as a kid, you're dumb and you're stupid and you do stupid things, you say stupid things, you lie and all that stuff. And as I've gotten older, it's like, why am I going to lie for? Why am I
Mhm.
going to sugarcoat things? I don't have time. I'm
Right.
not going
Yeah.
to, I'm also not going to let somebody else dictate how I am. I am going to be who I am. You're either going to like it or you're not, but the job's going to get
Right.
done.
Yep.
And you're going to be like, holy fuck, whoa, that was quick. I'm like, yeah, no shit. We don't fuck around. We hit it and quit it. Let's go. Let's get the job done. Right.
Right. Right.
And you talked about, the freedom of speech thing. And I've always gotten questions like, oh, how do you, you're a Marine, you served. How do you feel about people kneeling on the flag? It's their right. I fought for it. I don't agree
Right.
with it,
Right.
but I fought for it.
100%.
As an
Yes.
American,
100%.
you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to protest peacefully. You're allowed
That's right.
to express what you want to express because of people like me, Jarhead, Ted, that, we voluntarily joined the military. We voluntarily decided to, like, hey, I'm going to go put myself in harm's way. Hopefully I come back. But if I don't, hey, at least I did it for a good cause. So you people
Right.
that don't want to do it, and honestly, not everybody needs to be in the military, to
right.
do whatever the fuck you want to do. So when I
Yeah.
come home, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do.
100%.
Right?
100%.
So, okay. So what have you taken away from your experience, being what seems to be rock bottom, having your not blood family shun you, and having to deal with, your dreams essentially being legitimately torn and crushed apart, right?
Literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
We like the wordplay here. And how, well, I know how you've bounced back. Because I met you in person at DreamHack, and I've been watching you, and your energy is always through the roof. And now knowing, like, exactly who your story, respect, because I don't know how, man, I don't know how I would feel if the one thing I've wanted to do since I was a kid got taken away from me,
Mhm.
and the people that I went to boot camp with infantry school with, sweated, blood, everything with, to say, hey man, fuck you. How afterwards, I know you drinking, and I know that. Where did that process to turn around kind of start, and why?
That, like, when I absolutely hit rock bottom is when it kind of turned around.
When was that?
So, I made it from February to about June, waiting for my DD-214 to be able to get a job so I could stay down in Jacksonville
Wow.
with my son. I never got my DD-214. I had like the last $5,000 to $10,000 left of my severance check,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my biggest fears is being homeless. So I was like, okay, I have to leave. I have to fly back up here to Michigan, live with my mom for a little bit until I get my feet. Because if I hit zero, there's a chance I'll never be able to make it back home. My mom would have obviously done what she could to help me, but there was that fear. So
Yeah.
I had to leave my son. I remember it's very vivid in my head getting dropped off at the Jacksonville airport, holding my son for the last time. At that
Wow.
point, having to say goodbye because I don't know what my life, and he was 11 months old at the time. And I had to leave all my uniforms. I had to leave basically I only got to bring clothing back with me because there's only so much you can bring in Jacksonville airport's a very small airport. So I had to leave all that stuff behind. And then come back home and basically move in with my mom for a little bit, go to school, uh, meet up, try to meet up with some old friends. Couldn't hang out with them because they didn't understand my sense of humor anymore. Guys who I pretty much grew up with, they didn't understand me anymore. They didn't
Yeah.
understand my style.
That's true.
They didn't understand my drinking. So then got shunned from them. Tried hanging out with some other military veterans across the board, getting a couple groups, and I'm like, okay, cool, found family. We start talking about our background, everything we've gone through, and then I bring up my story, and then it was kind of like pushed off to the side again because most of them were all combat veterans, and they're like, oh, wait a minute,
Yeah.
you didn't go overseas, you never saw combat during wartime, you never saw combat. They're like, okay, and then kind of get pushed again. So I think I found my family again. I get pushed off to the side,
Yeah.
and then after that, then it was couple really verbally and physically abusive relationships, which
Mm. Shit.
at this point in time I feel like I deserve. So I'm at the point where I deserve this. Like, this is punishment for me being broken. This is punishment for me not being able to serve and do my job. I'm being punished right now. This is what I deserve. I deserve this sense
Self-loathing. The self-loathing phase.
of just being
Shit.
treated like absolute shit.
Yeah.
Um, so
Take your time. I
uh,
can see it in your face. Take your time.
yeah. It's okay. I mean, everyone's used to seeing me cry, so but it was okay. This is what I deserve. I'm at my lowest low. That this is where I'm supposed to be at. Everything that's happening is meant to happen to me. Um, and then basically my wife, who I'm with now, um, kind of started turning that around for me. She kind of
Wow.
started kicking me my ass and started honestly picking up those broken pieces
Mm.
and kind of putting them together, and those pieces that she couldn't find, she started using herself and um putting them in and filling those holes
Mm.
and helping me and guiding me and um telling me that things are gonna be okay, that things are all right, that I don't deserve that, I deserve better. And
Did you believe her at first?
fuck
Mm.
no. Fuck, fuck no. I absolutely did not.
Yeah, I
I
knew
told her she
that.
was crazy. I told her she was crazy. I tried pushing her away. Um,
Yeah.
I was like, this is too good to be true. This is another setup. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to be treated like this. I don't deserve to be cared for like this. To have someone who actually wants to be with me, I don't deserve that. I don't deserve someone like her. Um,
When you pushed her
so
away, did she pull you in tighter?
yeah. She was stubborn. She was like, "Nah, I'm here now.
Yeah.
Like you can't get rid of me. You can't get rid of me like that."
Good.
And then I kind of opened up to her a little bit about my past and about my military experience. Because her dad was in the military. And so she knew his experience and his as much of his life as she could know. And so she kind of inquired a little bit, and I told her about mine, and that kind of like that forced her to like she pulled me in even more.
Yeah.
And was like, no, you're not alone. Like, I got you. We're good. Like, we're gonna be okay. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna guide you. I'm gonna support you. Um, and it's been a journey. It's been a journey, but that was when one day at work I was on my way home from or my way to work, and I just texted her and I said, "Hey, I'm not good. I don't feel good about today.
Mm,
I think I was there's these road this like forest right by the facility before I got there, and I was like, would you miss me? Would you miss me if I think I might just pull off the side of the road and just full speed and just call it." And that was the first time I
mm,
told her, and she's like, "No, stop." She goes, "There's good." And then if you guys haven't seen it, the video um that
mm,
I talk about a lot by Jocko, she sent that to me, and she was like, "Good." And I watched that, and it was kind of at that point in time, it was a weight kind of off my shoulders a little bit, and um ever since then, she pisses me off when she says it, but I'll get into my head a little bit, and I'll be a little upset, and she'll just look at me and she'll be like, "Good." I'm like, "Stop saying that shit. Stop saying it. No, not good. I'm pissed. I'm angry. This is going on." She's like, "Good." And I'm like, I hate you, but I love you, but oh my god, I hate you. Um, so she meeting her is when that turning point when I finally I got that family that I've been looking for forever.
yeah.
Um, that I lost. Um she's the only person who I've really opened up to, who I've let everyone else because of that experience. It's
Yeah.
everything is arm's distance. Everything. Nope, don't get close to me. Don't. Nope, I don't want to talk. Nope, I don't want to tell you about my life. Nope, I don't want to let you in. I don't want to let you close. And that's honestly that's everyone. That's my mom. That's my son. That's everyone in my family. My sister.
Mm,
That is everyone. Um, but at the same exact time, I don't want to be hurt again. I don't want to let you into my life
mm,
to allow you to actually hurt me like that ever again.
mhm,
I don't ever want to feel that low in my life ever again. So I'm not gonna let you get that close.
mm.
Um,
Yeah.
so long story short, my wife, when I met my wife, my current wife, that's
Magic hands. You met
Was there
magic
like
hands.
was there a defining moment though when you realized that Glitterati was the one? Was there like a defining moment with her that
when
changed that?
when honestly, when I was pushing her away,
Mhm.
the moment is when I was pushing her away and she refused to let me go.
Yeah.
That was the moment when I was like, okay, this is she's there. She's there to she's actually legitimately there to support me. I'm
Yeah.
trying to push her away. I'm trying to get away. I'm trying to force this person to leave me alone to just move
Yeah.
on and find someone more worthy. And she was like,
Yeah.
nah, nah, you're stuck with me. You're not going
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
That was the okay, maybe I'm gonna have to deal with this person for a little while.
Yeah. Amy did the same to me. She said, "No, I finally met my Tony Soprano. I'm not going to let you walk away." She goes, "I've wanted to meet a fucking Italian fucking, gangster sounding guy for a long time. And
Yeah.
you're the guy."
Yep, I
And she
got you.
goes, "No, I'm not going to let you down." So I'm so glad you got that out of glitter, man. That's so awesome, man. It really is.
Well, if that's funny.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you've also said, and I quote, I'm going to quote you. You said video games helped you deal with depression and anxiety.
For sure.
Can you talk about that connection too, and like what games helped you the most and why? Just because I'm really curious because now I know a lot more about your story, and there's a lot of similarities too.
So, like one of the biggest games I got into once I basically came back to civilian life, believe it or not, was like I grew up playing Magic the Gathering. At my
Yeah,
time, it was either you played Magic the Gathering or you played Yu-Gi-Oh! And I never touched Yu-Gi-Oh! And
yeah.
so Magic the Gathering, so they came, I think around that time they may have came out with Magic the Gathering like online. And so I was really playing that because that kind of connected me back to my childhood. Um, and then Call of Duty. I grew up playing Call of Duty. Call of Duty
Mm,
was my go-to was so between those, um, that was kind of what brought me back down to level. um and it just turns off the voices in the head. That was the
mm,
biggest help. I didn't have to think. I wasn't thinking about other stuff that's going on around me or my past. I'm my brain is so fixated on what is going on in front of me that I don't have time to think about anything else.
mm,
It's okay, I'm thinking about this, or I got into like puzzles. Like my wife will be like, "All right, puzzle man, I need you to figure this out for me," because that right there, like getting those brain cells firing and not focusing on stuff helps me out a lot because I don't have,
mm,
like I said, I don't have time. I didn't have time to sit there and sit and wonder about and worry about everything in my past and things in my future and whatnot. So for
mhm,
me, it's just silencing. It's just silencing the unnecessary amount of noise in my head,
mhm,
Okay.
which which I'm pretty sure. I mean, I know that's why I hear a lot for a lot of people. They're just like it's just calming. It's everything subsides. I don't have to think about the BS in the world.
It's funny you
mhm.
say that because the games that most of us play, right, are usually first person shooter or games that revolve around destroying things, which typically are like
Yeah,
some of the loudest, most ear
yeah,
Yes,
wrenching games in the world. But for
yes,
some reason, it does deafen
yeah,
the noise in the head, and I really like the fact that the gaming community is really starting to surround themselves and kind of embrace this like gaming
yeah.
exposure therapy, mental health awareness, and how
Mhm.
gaming connects people that would normally never connect. Like I would never meet you. You live in Michigan, I live in
Yes,
Jersey, I would never meet you.
yes,
You live in
right.
Texas, Ted, and I would never meet you.
I would never have met you. Yeah,
Right,
I know.
and that's what games did. Like for me, when I got out, the games is what kept me and my friends connected. Up until I went to the
Yeah,
dark
yeah,
side and came to the PC world, everybody,
yeah,
all my boys had Xbox.
yeah, yeah,
I could. There
yeah,
was not a weekend that
yeah,
me and my boys wouldn't get on and just for the next 8 hours
yeah.
would talk the most hellish shit to each other
Yes.
right,
and play video games.
right,
Even when I was in the army on the weekends, I mean, I was playing back then. I think it was like Battlefield 2 or
right.
Battlefield 1942 or something like that. It
Right.
was crazy.
Oh,
I
you're
was
old.
in over 20 years ago, but you
Yeah.
know, was there a defining moment like when you realized streaming could be more than just fun?
And when did you get
Like
into
that
that,
it
by
could
too?
actually help people? I mean, was there a moment like, that streaming, like what led you to that?
So, it
Fuck
started
you,
off so
geeks.
2021 2021
Okay.
is when we started streaming, so kind of in the middle of COVID. Um, so I started streaming in the beginning because I was like, all right, I'm already playing video games.
Mhm.
I might as well stream because I was was already working a buttload of overtime, but I was trying to find another way to be able to honestly afford to go see my son because at that point in time, if I wanted him to come here, I'd have to fly out there, pick him up, fly back, and
Mm-hmm.
then fly out there, drop him off, fly back. So I was buying six plane tickets, round trip plane tickets,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to see him. So I was like, okay, this is if we can get this going, like I could maybe make a little extra money to afford to be able to see him at least once a year, if not more. And so that was the original startup of why I started streaming. Um and then it kind of it molded into people were coming in here, and then it started becoming a platform where people were I started socializing with these people and communicating, and once again building this family. Like I don't call the community I have a community. It's a
Mm-hmm.
family. Um to start positively affecting people. There's people out there who are like me who feel shunned, who feel abandoned,
Mm-hmm.
and who are having really bad mental health issues. And I can use some of my personal experience, my life to help them out a little bit because
Yeah.
at least if what works for me may not work for everyone else, but there might be someone else in the community that goes, "Hey, I've been through that too, and this is what's helped me." And they go, "You know what? That's actually great. That helps me too." And so you start building these connections, and I started realizing that I have a platform that I
Mm-hmm.
can actually positively affect and help people, veterans or not, who are still fighting that fight,
Mm-hmm.
that mental battle, to help them fight that mental battle. So that once that became um the mindset behind my whole stream in my channel, that then it
Mm-hmm.
really started being like more and more fun and more interactive, and um really just started catching, really started
Yeah.
clicking, I should say.
Is that when you
Yeah.
started, your mental health kind of, I don't wanna say journey, but, like, you spoke about it earlier that you go there, you
Mm-hmm.
come to my channel, and I preach mental health, and I give advice. That's when you really started doing that, was
Yeah.
when people started really coming in and really communicating with you.
Yep.
Eh
So I really started getting guided down and working on my own mental health. I want to say probably about a year before that, 2020,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
when I started really implementing that good, and I really started like letting, okay, I'm anxious right now. I'm gonna let the anxiety take over for a little bit,
Yeah.
and let it take control. I'm gonna lay back. I'm just gonna let it just run its course. Okay, why am I anxious? And try to start. And then so like I was kind of gaining figuring my own self out, my own mental health, and then finally being able to at the same exact time with this whole streaming stuff. Now I'm using that because the more I say it, the more I preach it, the more it's getting out there, the more it's getting stuck in my head, the
Mm-hmm.
more I'm talking about it. So it's helping me at the same exact time that I'm trying to help other people. So it's kind of just it's a revolving door. They're learning, I'm learning. They're learning, I'm being reminded, they're being reminded. And so it's just this constant Ferris wheel of it's
Mm-hmm.
just going over and over and over it, to where now it's okay, what's going on? What am I dealing with? And I do it's muscle memory for me now. I'm not
Yeah.
perfect at it by any means. I still fall super short on some days. I still have my really deep dark days, but that's when I got a a wife to kick me in the ass whenever I get to
Yeah.
those. So
Now,
So
what is, like, your biggest thing that you kind of tend to, I don't wanna say preach, but essentially preach, uh,
uh,
when
right.
what is, like, your big go-to message? Besides the good video, because that's Jocko's, but
Yeah.
besides that,
yep, yep.
that, what's that big, like, what's your thing?
Heartbeat. So we compare life to a heartbeat monitor. We always say, just like in life, you got your on a heartbeat monitor, you got your ups and you got your downs.
Mm-hmm.
The up times feel phenomenal. You're up high, you're going up and up and up, and the down times absolutely suck. But those are the times when you grow the most. Those are the times when you learn the most. Those are the times when you fight the most. And you become a bigger and better, stronger person. And the last thing you ever want to see is a flat line. You never want to see a flat line. That's either a flat line straight up or a flat line straight down. Any flatline, just like on a heartbeat monitor, that means that there's no life. There's nothing worth
Wow.
fighting for. There's nothing
Yeah.
worth living for anymore. So
Mm.
that is what we push the most. Is life is like a heartbeat monitor. You have to have those up times and you have to have those down times.
Yeah.
You never no flat lines.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ted.
That's great advice for, veterans that struggle in silence and everything, you know, but, and I know, streaming can be isolating at times. What keeps you going? Like what fuels your why when motivation dips for you? What keeps you going?
That's a good one.
Um, so I have a few layers that I
Hmm.
go through. Um, Obviously we start with streaming, like when I get to some low parts. All right, if I'm not here and
Hmm.
I'm preaching this, and I call it tapping out. That's the word, that's the phrase I go to basically when I
Yeah.
get to that really dark point and I'm done.
Mhm.
And I get to kind of that suicidal, really depression state. I call it just tapping out. Um, I think about the community here. I'm talking to them and I'm preaching this and stuff like that. I can't let them down. And then if that kind of like, you know what, if I get past that layer, then it's my mom and everything. Like I'm working on trying to be more involved in her life and talking to her. You know, I'm passing that information. I'm just passing that suffering onto her. And if I get past that layer, then then I got my wife. You know, I'm leaving my wife that she didn't deserve to go through that. And then obviously after that, then it's my son, having to completely grow up with out a father figure in his life. And
Mm.
at the end of it all, I just think and that it's when I if I were to commit suicide, it doesn't stop there. It multiplies it. Anyone who knows me, um, it spreads to them. It spreads to the cops who end up finding me. It spreads to the EMTs who end up
Wow.
finding me.
Mhm.
They get to take it home, and now it's going to affect their family. It's going to affect their wife, their kids. It doesn't just end. So that whole thought and that walking through myself through those steps, it pulls me back. It's not okay to pass on my suffering because I'm going through hard times, I'm going through struggles. It's not okay for me to hand that grief off to somebody else them to deal with it because I'm tired of dealing with it.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow.
I actually like that a lot. I never
Yeah.
like I thought about it myself, and the only
Yeah.
like I only really seen it to like my kids, right? I only think about my kids because they're the only reason why my heart beats.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. 100% I wouldn't be
Yeah.
here. Because I really do think that everything I have, everything I own is all material, right? The house is a house.
Mhm.
Right.
Somebody else will own it.
Right.
A car, somebody will take it. My stuff, somebody will garage sell it, and somebody will wear it if they're big enough. And
Mhm.
my kids are the only they're my legacy,
Yeah.
and
100%.
I'm their sheepdog.
Hmm.
And nobody's gonna fight for them and protect them like I would. I would literally, that big meme that's going around like 100 men versus one gorilla.
Yeah.
I'd take on 100 gorillas to protect my kids. Send all the
Right.
gorillas. Send all of them. I will take them all. I got enough bullets. They're all going down. Right? Like you're not
Yeah.
coming close. So that right there, and that's the mission, right? As military guys, regardless of whatever you did, there was always a mission. Whether it's a mission to push paperwork, whether it's a mission to move the bombs over there to over there for no reason, was it the mission to fill sandbags when you can just make a
Right.
wall? But we're not going to talk about sandbags. That's the fucking trigger for me. Um, right? Or the mission is to go out, close with, and destroy your enemy, right? Like that's the mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the mission, which is where I think in the mental health world for veterans, is we tend to forget that even though you're not in or you're not actively participating, with your boys, you still have a mission, right? You just got to find it. You got to find
Right.
what's worth fighting for. And if it's not yourself, there is something. There's always family, there's friends, there's something. And what I've heard you say today is the support system that you have from your current wife right? And the love that you have for your son ultimately gave you the strength to go and keep going, and that they became your reason, they became your mission. And as you developed it, you know, your community, your family, you know, with your, you know, with your streaming community,
Yeah.
is another reason. Because, you know, when Ted asks you like, oh, what keeps you streaming? Oh, them, they do, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it sounds like you found your mission, and I love that.
Yes.
And for you guys listening, if you don't take anything, like obviously, you know, I'm big into the, you know, the physical health stuff, which to me helps my mental health. You know, Ted's, you know, discovered no therapy recently, and he's fucking killing it and crushing it. He's sitting here doing fucking fasting. When do you ever thought Ted was going to fast, guys? Right? And you got Jarhead here, who literally found, you know, Ted has Amy too, but Jarhead found Magic Hands, and Magic Hands literally said, "No, fucker, you're not going anywhere. You're stuck with me, and you're worth it."
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and help them like reach this hand out. So now I'm gonna give you guys homework. All right, I need a Magic Hands. All right, I need somebody that's gonna who's not gonna go anywhere. Find beard a wife is still the mission here, guys. That's your homework.
He's looking for one of your friends.
that's your homework, chat. Go find beard a wife. No, but find your guys's your anchor. Right, you hear that a lot too. Find your anchor. Find what's going to keep you grounded and going to keep you on mission. Yeah, essentially. Right. So, man, that's some crazy shit. So with the mental, what made you interested in pursuing the mental health stuff? Because I know that, you know, we talked a little bit about it at DreamHack and stuff like that. What's like next for you in keeping you in that, and what, you know, what's next? What are you doing now with it?
So we are looking into some classes.
Nice.
We are trying to there's a couple classes that we're looking into that they basically have a compile of a bunch of information that is I believe they are state specific, so that way in case anyone from let's say, you know, Texas or California or Oregon, they're like, hey, I'm having some really hard times. Okay, well, here's literally a file of everything that Oregon has to offer for you to get help. Obviously, I can't diagnose them because I'm not a psychologist, but so my goal is to start taking these classes together with my wife, and then start building this team and get like a lot of my mods and other people who were involved to start taking these classes with me as well, so that way we have this whole basically army of people who have this information, to where if anyone ever needs any problems, they just reach out to these people and say, hey, I'm struggling right now. Okay, well, and they can easily pass that information on, and then just build this entire community where just kind of pass not pass the buck, but pay it forward. Just constantly paying it forward, giving it back, giving back, and, you know, um, helping, letting people know that it's okay to not be okay. So that's our goal right now. Our goal is to just kind of get information for us, so that way we can regurgitate it to those people and have stuff on hand that need it.
Okay, now to shine the light on us, right? Because now, you know, we are a charity here. What attracted you to AGB, and why AGB versus the 100 of other organizations out there?
So I was with Regiment first.
Okay, gross.
I will say that, but I'm not gonna.
I'm kidding. I know nothing about them.
I used to be on their streaming team. And then we kind of we figured things didn't end up working out. It wasn't the right fit for both of us. I ended up kind of going my own way. And then, so I want to say I've talked about this before. I hope I've talked about this before. If I haven't, then it's going to be a surprise for everyone. So I met Spooky and them have kind of been in my channel right before DreamHack Atlanta. And then so I went down to DreamHack Atlanta, first DreamHack. I meet everyone from AGB. Literally the first person who I freaking saw at Atlanta DreamHack was fucking Peeps.
Ugh,
We're
sorry.
about to walk down these stairs. He's coming up this escalator at me, and I'm looking at him. He's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Ah, shit! I'm supposed to know your name. I'm supposed to know you." And then I was like, he's like, "Peeps," and I'm like, "Ah, Peeps! Hi, yes,
He's
you
horrible with
the
names,
face."
chat. He's really is horrible with names.
I'm
That's great.
horrendous
Yes.
with names. And then hung out with a bunch of people. I want to say it was Saturday night. Peeps was like, "Hey, we're having AGB we're having a bunch of everyone from AGB over to the house, and I'm gonna cook dinner for everyone and blah blah blah. We're gonna have a family dinner." I'm like, "Cool. I like this." So we go to the house. We're hanging out. We're having a good time. There was a bunch of people there. Double and his wife were there. Old Peeps, Spooky, me, my wife. Logic was there. There's a few other people that were there. And then so we're all drinking, having a good time. And then they get Nate to show up. Nate shows up, and we're drinking, we're hanging out, having a good time. And then stuff kind of goes on. In my drunken stupor, I get triggered. Someone says something that triggers me,
That story.
and yeah, and my survival instincts kick in. Of I walk outside. I kind of let the dog out. I walk back inside. I walk over to my wife and I go, "We got to go now." And she's like, "What?" I go, "No." I go, "We have to leave now." And so I walk outside. Um, we I get into the car and I'm sitting there, and the wife comes out shortly after that. And then we have the top off because of course we drove from Michigan down to Atlanta, and we had to have a convertible Mustang. We're gonna drive in style, not the most comfortable thing, but so I'm sitting there, convertibles down, we're sitting there relaxing, and then I hear someone yelling, "You're not gonna say bye to daddy?"
I wonder who that was. We'll keep his name anonymous for now.
And I sat there, and he came over to the passenger side of the vehicle where I was sitting, and I was just like, I opened the door and I flung the door open. I said, "You want to know what?" I said, "As a matter of fact," and just flew off the handle, and I got to this person's face I was like this close, and I was just like, all of a sudden it was just waterworks. And I was like, you know what? Finally, like my brain kind of snapped back too. And I was like, it's not you, it's me. I'm sorry. I got a problem. Blah, 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 blah. Everything basically came to a head. And um I just rambled on. Especially when I'm drunk, I ramble and I ramble and I ramble and I just go on and on and on and on and on and on. Um, and then this person's like, "All right, are you done?" And I just keep going. "All right, are you done yet?" And I just keep going and going and going. Um, and finally he started talking. He goes, "Is it my turn yet?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, cool." Blah blah blah. And I try to interject, and he's like, "No, no, no, no. You had your turn. It's my turn now." And so we're going back and forth, and we're talking. Um, and At the end of it, he's like, "So are we gonna fight or are we gonna hug?" And basically, we had a very nice, loving bromance embrace. Um, and Basically, that was kind of, he was like, "Hey, get home safe. We'll talk tomorrow." Blah 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 blah. So we drive home, and now, of course, I'm sitting in the passenger seat. My wife's having to deal with me now, one on one, and I'm crying, and I'm like, "This is stupid. I fucked up again." And she's like, "You're fine. Stop." Blah blah. And so we get back next day.
Well, before you keep going, I wonder who this
Yes.
person is. Well,
I hate you. I don't even like you. I don't even like you.
So I don't know what happened. This was completely unplanned. I have no idea how this happened. How he knew to come in right at this time.
Speaking about
Unknown.
our guest coming up in 2 weeks will be Crazy Nate. So hey, Nate, how are you?
There was a story being told, Nate, about somebody getting crying and being called. Oh wait, you're not gonna say bye to daddy. Oh man.
Oh look, he can't even talk. He can't even function right.
Yeah, where's your?
Look, still can't even function right.
What is this?
I can't hear him.
Y'all can't hear me?
Oh, we can hear you
there we
now.
go.
There he
There you
is.
go.
There he is.
Talk to daddy? What's wrong? You don't want to talk to daddy?
But no, the next day,
I was in the waiting room for a while. I typed in the chat and I was like, hey, can I ask a serious question? Are you cool with that?
me or who?
He's talking to you. You're the guest.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
How many crayons can you actually fit in your mouth at once before you realize you're a rainbow?
About a handful.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. We do straight green. If you can't tell, I mean, we're literally like it's everywhere.
Okay. I have another question.
Yeah.
So what did you feel, seriously, when the tables turned on you when you thought we were gonna fight?
Honestly, it probably a weight came off my shoulders because I honestly thought it was gonna be, even in my drunk mind, kind of like how I talked about before, about kind of just being pushed away. I'm like, yep, I'm an idiot. I'm drunk, and now here it goes. And then when you were kind of like, all right, give me a hug, like it was just, I mean, because I'm pretty sure I cried more when you were holding me than the entire time we were having that conversation. So it was just nice to have that embrace. And again, I was drunk. I mean, you're kind of comfy. I think you were a lot more squishier then too. So,
Right. Who squished your mouth?
Whoa.
Throw squishy blows.
Whoa.
Let's throw squishy blows.
But no, honestly, the real part, kind of getting to finally the question that you asked, what drew me to AGB, is the next day. When I went, I felt embarrassed, honestly, by how I acted. I felt completely embarrassed by acting the way I did, and going up to everyone who was there and apologizing, and everyone's just like, "Why are you apologizing for? Like, you got nothing to apologize for. We've all been there. Like, we get it. We understand." And so, basically, that right there was kind of like, yeah, that and old peeps. Literally, that next day, he was like, "Hey, by the way," he introduced me to someone. He goes, "Here, hey, by the way, here's Jarhead. He's one of our new ambassadors." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, he's one of," he goes, "Oh, you don't know this, but we've been yeah, you're one of our new ambassadors." I'm like, "All right, cool. I guess I'm one of AGB's new ambassadors." like it was like that, and like I said, just it was mainly just the whole, just that re-embracing that we get it, we understand, drawing us. Um,
Yep.
that was like, we understand. Stop being stupid. Like, stop apologizing. You're a human being. You're a human being. You have feelings too. So yeah, whatever. I cry a lot.
Again, you said you came from a different organization too. Now,
Yeah, y'all are both confused.
well, I didn't. I actually had, every time somebody's mentioned somebody else, I have no idea. I was never into that whole organization thing. Just because, again, we talked about earlier, like I am the person that keeps to myself. I don't really socialize. I suffer in silence. I suffer by myself. It's just always been my thing. It works for me. So, this organization is obviously very new, and it obviously doesn't have the following or the membership that other organizations have, not just that one that you came from, but just others in general, right? Like the Wounded Warrior, take Wounded Warrior for an example. You're talking millions of people. You're talking DAV, another couple million of people. And
but DAV is at least an organization that takes care of the people.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you feel being part of AGB? What has AGB shown you? By the way, those socks are awesome.
Hey, before you answer that question, can I ask a question real quick? What
Go ahead,
the
Nate.
fuck are you eating? Weren't you just on a cleanse? What was the beginning of this podcast?
I did a cleanse. Yeah, no, I totally did a cleanse. It was
He's,
awesome.
he's all cleansed up.
41,
Resetting your system, and now I just saw McDonald's, right?
No, it's not fucking McDonald's. It's like Portillo's. It's a sausage and pepper sandwich.
Different type of fast food restaurant. You're right. I'm sorry.
I see cleanse number 2 coming up.
Oh, totally, 100%.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be better
gonna
ready
need
for his cleanse number 2.
He's gonna need it.
All right. What was the question again?
So what has it been like being part of AGB again in the short time that you've been here? Right. What have you taken away from us, and what would you like to happen next with you and AGB? So there's a couple questions.
Yeah. So obviously the meeting people that I've met between Atlanta and Dallas's DreamHack, that's been phenomenal, getting me out of my comfort zone. As you saw and experienced firsthand, one of the times at the booth, everyone else was kind of busy doing their own thing, and I asked someone, but hey, what's going on? Like, have you heard about it before? And then your big ass got up next to me, and I'm like, all right, cool. There's a guy you want to talk to. You're like, oh no, but so I definitely obviously want to get more involved in terms of getting the name out there and getting just content specifically for you guys. Even thought about helping out on the charity stream
Nice.
kick site, getting involved that way. Just being more present, if I'm supposed to be a name and an ambassador for AGB, I need to be more present and I need to be more involved with AGB in getting the name out there and drawing people into it, and help being more of a face instead of just having a fancy little logo on the bottom right corner of my screen that says AGB.
Which is in part why I kind of wanted to do this with the ambassadors. And again, me and Ted kind of talked about it kind of last minute. We kind of just threw this shit together. We've had interview questions for other people, but I was like, you know what? We haven't even done the board member interviews. That's been a to-do for a very long time. But I'm like, wait a second. These guys are ambassadors, right? And, meeting us in person. Again, you met Peeps and you met Spooky, but meeting me, right? Meeting obviously met Double. So meeting me, I'm very different than them, right? I'm very, very different than Double. I'm very different than Peeps and Spooky. And meeting some of the volunteers like Redneck and Goku and all those guys. For me, at least when I first met them at Loot Fest, it was really nice seeing how people were coming together that I've never met before, that have no idea who we don't know who each other are, and somehow managed to work together. It did remind me of that like military-esque kind of group. And then seeing it, right, like, we've talked about, HEB charity, blah, blah, this is what we do. But seeing it actually happen, and then seeing you guys come out, you and Nate, at DreamHack, and then kind of being around the booth and hanging out with, your wives, your families, your friends, and then, just being there, and then you jumping in the booth, me watching you jump in the booth, and even though you're like, oh, this guy, I'm like, no, you got it. I want to see what you do, because it's like, look at him. He's like a little baby. He's growing up so fast. Again, because we haven't really had those, the big events, right? Because technically this was our, like, what I would consider our real first big event was DreamHack Dallas, because more of us were there, right? And we were there finally as AGB, not Peeps the creator who happens to be repping AGB. We were there as AGB. So I would say this was our first real big event. And having, you
there than regiment and all that other stuff too. So
Right, and we roll deep, which is again, you have all. And why I asked you why AGB is because you have all these big companies and organizations that are out there that again, they have more pull, they have more followers, they're supposed to be helping you guys more, and for you guys to pick us means a lot to me, right? It means a lot to me, and I know you guys have been talking about, oh, why don't you do it on your channel? I'm like, well, we'll get there. That's my own personal thing, but.
Right.
I wanted to take the opportunity to get you guys on here. That's why, Nate, you're coming on because Ted scheduled Stony. If you guys don't know, Stony's a brand new ambassador. We just voted her in. So Stony's next week. So for you guys also watching, stay tuned. Next week we're gonna get Stony on, and Nate's coming in after that because I just literally spoke to Nate today about it. So, but this is our chance and your chance to kind of tell your story on the channel to all the people that you're gonna be helping, right? As a mental health person, spreading your message, them going over to your channel and kind of like showing you, hey, this is Jarhead. This is our ambassador. Get ready to see him a lot more. It's almost like jump starting you into like, hey, it's comfortable. You can come here. We don't bite. I do, but we don't bite.
Yeah.
Right.
So
100%. Jarhead.
hey, you okay?
Brother, if there's one thing you could tell a young vet right now who feels lost or they've got nothing, what would that message be, Jarhead?
That the fight hasn't ended just because you're out. That there's still people that need you here with them, that rely on you to keep fighting the good fight, to keep pushing forward. That there is a brotherhood out there still for you that needs you by their side, that rely on you. That mental battle is never too much to give into.
because you're not alone.
You're not alone.
You're not alone, man.
Nate, do you have any questions?
No, I was gonna say don't be ashamed.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I mean, that's one of the things that I told Jar when we met. Don't be ashamed. I'm no better than you, and you're no better than me. We're still brothers either way.
Right.
Crayons, no crayons. We're still family. You know what I mean?
You need to have crayons.
I mean, but one thing I would say for sure is the hardest thing to do is reach out, right? The hardest thing to do is say that you need help. The hardest thing to do is quit drinking if you want to quit drinking. The hardest thing to do is stop doing the narcotics if you want to stop doing the narcotics. The hardest thing to do is to tell your loved ones.
Wow.
I mean, we can get deeper into it now, or we can get deeper into it when I'm coming on. I don't care either way. I'm just not trying to take anything away from everything that Jarhead said, and he gets a little jealous, so I don't want to mess that up.
You guys got a trash can in the Discord? I gotta move them.
No, but seriously, when you get out, one of the first things you should be doing is going straight to the VA and enrolling yourself, because you never know when that time comes when you're just like, holy fuck, I need help, and getting your spouses in there, I'm gonna bring this up right now because it's fresh. So my wife.
Okay.
Huh?
They're gonna go somewhere else. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I don't know what you're thinking. I'm thinking, but it's not whatever you're thinking. So my wife's a real estate agent out here in Florida, right? And she sold a house to a retired sergeant major that he's a Hispanic guy, and his wife is Spanish and just doesn't. I mean, she's Venezuelan, but she doesn't speak any English really. And he was in a coma for the past 2 months, and I had no idea. He lost his leg, and he died Sunday.
Whoa.
And this person's calling my wife and freaking out, like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do anything. And his wife is not in the VA system. Luckily, she's in Deers. So it kind of lucked out. Yeah, there's a record.
Yeah.
But he had no next of kin. He had nothing, no emergency contact, no nothing in the VA. And thank God I know the people at the VA. So I went over there and I was like, hey, look, this is what's going on. And they're like, we know exactly who you're talking about. I'm like, all right, good. What can we do? And, you know, there's a lot of things that I didn't know that I just found out. But like, you know, the things that you have to do when you do die as a veteran, you know,
Yeah.
not even as a retiree. I'm talking about as a veteran. So there's a lot of things there's a lot of knowledge you can get, but you won't know until you ask. So it's important that you involve your loved ones or your spouse or your parents or whoever into that process, not just you.
Yeah.
Now, I don't care if your emergency contact is your best friend in the world or anything. Make that shit happen, because you know, we just lost a brother. All of us just lost a brother, and we didn't even know him. You know what I mean?
Right.
We all lost a brother, and we need to learn how to be there for each other, you know, no matter what we're going through. And
For sure.
Jarhead's one, you know, person. I'm one person. I'm sure everybody in here, you reach out to us, we're gonna be there. You know, Jarhead might not answer, but you just call me, I'll answer. It works. I don't work.
I work.
And-
No, but I mean that's what's crazy. Like a lot of us, a lot of like especially like the older generation of vets, they feel so ashamed to want to reach out to the VA and go get help. Um, they because they were hit over the head harder than we were being in about sucking it up and moving forward and whatever. But you got to remember that if you you want to get set up so that way when you pass, everything's set up for your family to smoothly transition things over, and so that way your family's taken care of. Because as much as a lot of us like to think that we're Superman, we're not. It does come to a head at some point in time. you know, but we want to make sure. Obviously, we can only do so much, and when we're no longer here, we want to make sure that our families are taken care of because, like what was pointed out earlier, that's the mission. That's the mission, and that mission needs to continue even after our passing.
Yeah.
That's right.
And,
For you guys that are, go ahead.
and I'm so glad you guys, you know, said what you just said with having, you know, setting people up and getting almost like getting people informed, right? Getting people informed and reaching out to you guys. And that's ultimately what we preach all the time between me and Ted. It's like, hey, you guys are going through something, reach out to us, you know, me and Ted, because, you know, we do the podcast. So we're readily accessible, especially through the AGB, you know, platform. And I'm glad you said it without us having to say anything, because now you see it, guys. They're ambassadors for a reason. You know, these are guys that, yeah, okay, they're content creators. Yeah, that's cool. But I know, like, meeting these two guys, I know, like, if I need something, which I never will because that's just not who I am. But if I ever needed something, I know I can reach out to Jarhead, and when he doesn't pick up, I'm going to call Nate, right?
I'll tell the wife that.
Right? But essentially, that is...
Did you call him first? I'm just curious, like... All right, go on.
I'm going to call him first to prove your point, so then we can shit on him later.
Fucking knock it off.
You got it? You got it? I'm going to call him first so you have a point to prove. You see how I came up with the quick answer? Yeah, you like that one.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, so you guys can reach out to all of us, anybody in the charity, right? We say that all the time. Like there's plenty of different groups in the actual Discord. You know, listen, I didn't get into his personal life, which I kind of wanted to touch, but I kind of also just want to know. Again, I had a special guest kind of planned a little bit ahead of time. And that's why the story kind of guided a certain way. And when he's like, oh, this one person, yeah, let's keep it anonymous, because I already knew the special guest that might be coming on. So again, might have been pre-planned, might have not been. But anyway, you know, again, you guys know I'm a current active law enforcement. Well, there's somebody else here. You know, don't say where you work. You don't have to go into that details. But there is somebody here that is part of my other community that, you know, we have a community here for law enforcement. So it's like, it's not just me, it's him too, but we're also veterans. So if you're in that community and maybe you have a friend that's a veteran and it might not even be for yourself, and you want to speak to somebody or have your friends speak to somebody, you have people in this community, in this family, that you can always reach out to. Now, Nate's a little rough around the edges, so get ready for that talk, because he made Jarhead cry.
And then
hold on. There are multiple occasions. There's even times where I've had mistakes where, and I'm gonna say this real quick. My wife has reached out to Nate, I think at 2:00 in the morning a couple times, because I've been in those deep dark spots, and has called, and he's answered, and Nate has beaten me over the head at that point in time with words of encouragement.
Oh, yep.
And so when he says that, like, he will answer, like, he legitimately, he's gonna be there. And he's helped me out even since knowing him, not even a year into this, with helping me, guide me, and smack me upside my head a couple times, which we all need from time to time.
Of course.
Yeah.
So
once he finds out you're feeling like shit and gets your phone number, it's over.
Game over.
I have rules.
He's like a dog in heat.
He calls me at random fucking times.
I do.
Sundays, I'm fucking eating dinner.
Whatever, man. I called you once. Like, I haven't heard from you. You alive? I haven't seen you around, you little shit. Are you good? No. But on a serious note, I have a rule, right? I have a very serious rule when it comes to things, because in my experience, we'll get deeper into it, but I tried to kill myself 3 times. And the last time I tried to kill myself, I was in an induced coma for 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever my wife tells me, because I don't know. I was asleep. And my rule is, if you call me, I don't answer the first time. You call me right back.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. And I expect the same thing in return. If I call you twice in a row, it's serious. It's serious. If I call you twice in a row, not once and then like a couple minutes later. No, I'm talking about if you call me twice in a row, I'm answering that phone. Yeah, my phone's on do not disturb at night, but that's why I tell people, you call me twice, I'm answering that phone.
Mm-hmm.
I might not be awake, but I'm answering that phone.
Oh yeah. I won't wake up because I got earplugs in my ear because of the fucking ringing in my ears. But Amy actually has woke at 2 a.m. going, baby, your phone's ringing.
Baby, your ears are ringing. Hello, babe. Oh, that's
hello.
That's your ear.
Hello. Yeah, I thought that was my fucking ears. But yeah, for real.
I hope Nate calls me inconveniently while I'm having sex, because I'm going to put him on speaker, and I will continue. I will continue to push through. I will continue.
I'll be like, FaceTime, please.
Yeah, Daddy.
I'll be like, this is a serious situation.
This is the sit rep.
But this is serious.
And he's going to literally go like this. Hey, how many crayons can you shove in your mouth? And then I'm going to get a look, and I'm like, no, it's a legit question.
It's legit.
Just stay with me. Just stay with me.
Just go with it.
Right.
Grab that box of 96 Crayolas.
He's going to be like, what do you want? Oh yeah, no. Wait, what do you want?
See, guys, there's also a reason why I brought in Nate, because I knew this was going to happen. We were pretty serious with the majority of the podcast, but this is what veterans do. In trauma, when we talk about serious shit, we find humor in certain things. And it's part of just how we talk. It's part of how we heal. It's part of like how we keep our mental health in check. And I knew that this was going to be, again, not difficult, because I'm sure Jarhead's probably said some of these stories before, but to come out here, share on camera to 2 people that he kind of just met was going to be difficult in a way. And obviously just share to you guys. He shares with his family, but he hasn't shared with, the entire family. And I knew that, having Nate come on would be a great idea, especially because eventually somehow I just knew the story would have been there. I just knew somehow.
Of course.
Right?
Of course. Like how you just put those bread crumbs. Like, hey, eat this one. Hey, eat that one.
This is my first podcast, buddy.
You know what that sounds like? It's triggering my trust issues over here. I'm starting to have trust issues.
You should have trust issues. You should. Because I'm not going to feed you green crayons, bitch. I'm going to feed you a handful of Nate. I'm just gonna go handful of Nate.
That's, oh,
Meaty.
I tell you what though, like I mean, it's good to be to have a brotherhood again. You know?
Yeah.
It is.
I don't let people slack off. You know, when someone says, "Hey, you know," Jarhead said, "You know, hold me accountable."
Yeah.
Nice.
I've been doing it for months. I'm like, "Hey, bro, you need to get like stop fucking around. I'm here.
Yeah.
Hello, hello,
And all
hello,
bullshit aside,
hello,
Nate,
hello." I don't know how many times I do it.
I
Like,
appreciate your calls, man.
it sucks. Oh yeah, absolutely, it sucks.
I
You
appreciate
know,
it.
I don't
Listen,
mean
no
to be a
bull-
needy bitch, but I am. So,
Yeah.
To them,
you know,
not to me.
No
right,
bullshit.
whatever. Okay.
I guess I'm not his type, guys.
No. I
I'm
like
not,
fat.
I'm not saying I'm not squishy enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, what are you fucking saying? He's a chubby chaser?
What the
Is that why
fuck
he
you
calls
want?
me?
Hello.
Fuck.
Hello. Hello.
Yes. I answered.
Hello.
Guys, well, I had control, losing
That's
it.
a buddy check right there. You see that shit?
A buddy check
Buddy
within
check
a buddy,
live.
within a buddy check. It's Inception, guys. That's what we're doing here
It
nowadays.
just happened right there. It just happened. A buddy
It
check
is.
live. That's
It is
it.
Buddy
Man.
Check Live.
Fuck yeah, guys.
So, the kind of in closing, Jarhead, any last good advice, words, things you want to leave us with?
Basically, obviously, I focus big on mental health and all mental health. I really hyper focus on men's mental health. A
He likes
lot
the
because
men's.
we're taught at a very young age. You fall down, a little boy falls down, you pick him up, you say, "Hey, rub some dirt in it, get over it." A little girl falls down, you you pick her up and you start coddling her and babying her. So we're taught at a very young age, put some dirt in it, get over it, suck it up. But it doesn't have to be that way. That it is okay to go and reach out to people who you trust, and talk about your emotions and communicate your emotions and get them out there and vent. Maybe I'm gonna kick his ass. Hold on. I need a piece of paper because hold on. This beanie works. I'll put it over Nate's face. But it's okay to express yourself and get those emotions off your head and get them off your shoulders. Even if it's, hey, I need someone to work out. I need someone to hold me accountable.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Listen, I'm gonna hold on. Can I mute you?
He said, "Hold me accountable." I think is what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay to it is okay to cry as a guy. As you know, I kind of broke down a little bit here. I break down on my stream, especially when we get into deep conversation. It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to find a circle, reach out to people. Communicate. We're not going through this life alone. You're not going through this life alone.
Yep.
That's
Amen.
You
the
have a
most important
circle.
stuff.
There's one right here. There's a
Yeah.
circle right here.
Well, this is a box.
I think
This
I'm
is,
gonna.
this is more of a
I was
box.
thinking- I was
if you had
thinking about-
crayons, you can draw it out. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
You can literally type exclamation point Discord in here right now and
That's right.
join the Discord and be a
Yes.
part of the community. Like
That's right,
it's literally that simple.
Yeah.
And
It's true.
you know, we don't require
Shit.
anybody to like Jarhead, but we do require you to tolerate Jarhead.
Yeah.
There's a difference. But
Well,
seriously,
I was thinking about.
Welcome,
I was thinking about a Florida trip.
I
wish I could try to be
Nate.
honest. but
He's
I'm
been talking
still-
about Nate. He's
everything
been
else-
talking
I've been
about it now
thinking
for
about
like
it, bro.
last 2 weeks.
I
Well-
really been. I think I could use some Nate time. I really think it would be good for me.
Again,
wish-
we're gonna hold you to that, Nate, because
Especially
I
the little guns.
I can cry honest, but I am sure used to doing everything on my own. Grunts,
Yep.
we know, man. We know what you're going through, brother. You know, I mean,
Oh yeah.
and that's the thing too. You've shared that with the community, so we know to be there for you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We've told you you're not alone, and
Right.
you can't. We can tell you 1,000 times, But until you are ready for that help, it will never happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can lead a horse to
Right.
water, but you can't make it drink.
Offer all we want, man. But until you're ready to make that shit happen,
Yeah.
well,
Nate,
Just
I,
me too, man.
I don't
There
want
ain't
to take
nothing
anything
wrong
from.
with that.
I don't want to take anything away from you when you're on here, you know. But if you want to have some closing statements, Nate, go ahead.
Yeah.
jarhead. Oh, I'm just kidding. No, seriously.
Boom.
When it comes to me saying those things, is because I got to that point of no return, and I had to be ready to receive the help. Just like I don't know what Jarhead mentioned that he did today, but
He did.
did you mention? Okay, so Jarhead saying that I'm going to get mental help, like to get the help. He wasn't just trying to rah and get through it. But I think one of the things that he did say about rubbing some dirt in it and all, I think it's a generational thing too. A lot of the older generations, including myself and Teddy's like really old, but
Hey.
peeps and all that stuff. But like at that same time, it's just like we were always not necessarily told to suck it up, but it depends on how you raise your kids,
Yeah.
how you raise your kids is like, it's not like, oh, that sucks. Oh, you just, it's okay, blah blah blah. No, hey, this sucks for this reason.
Yeah.
You did it to yourself. What are you gonna do to fix it versus rub some dirt in it?
Accountability is a big thing.
Exactly. And I'm, a lot of people say they have great kids. You'll never hear me say it out loud, but I have great kids.
You just did.
And y'all will get the chance to meet my kids at DreamHack. I promised them that they would go, and we're making it happen.
Atlanta?
Nice.
Yeah.
Atlanta,
Sick.
nice.
Fuck, now I have to go.
Promised them
Yes.
and they could go. I said last year, I said, look, if I make partner this year, I will take y'all. And it happened.
Nice.
So
awesome.
I'm taking my kids so they can wander, follow me around like a little shadow that my wife has to do too all the time, So I feel bad, but it's true. I mean, that's what our spouses do at that moment. But and she said it too. Like when it comes to her work and she needs me, I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's her being there, And yeah, I have a bunch of, I don't necessarily saying that I need her there, but I want her there. It's a difference. You know what I mean?
Right.
She's the one that helps me stay accountable and yells at me and it hurts my feelings and all that stuff.
Right.
What do I know?
I'm gonna save my moment with Nate when Nate comes on in 2 weeks. But me and Nate came over to the booth one time and he needed a moment, and we'll talk about that when it's his turn for the interview.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Look at his brain. He's like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Ow.
I will say I surprised Nate one time because he came over for his little koozies. He's like, where the fuck are my koozies? I'm like, bro, you showed me where they were at. I've been handing them out. We've been handing them out. That's what you wanted me to do. He goes, no. Yeah, dude, I was like, here, you get one. Yeah.
I didn't get one. Fuck.
Yeah.
Guess I had to be there.
Ted, you got any closing remarks after this fucking what I would say probably one of our best podcasts to date?
One of our best podcasts. When I originally started this in the middle of last summer, it was just based on somebody, wanting to, I was doing Buddy Check Wednesday posts, and someone said, "Man, you guys should do a podcast, Ted. You should do a podcast." And when Bearded approached me, man, I didn't envision it would be this strong at this time, whatever, I guess. I don't know. This is one of my favorite shows that we've done to date today. Tonight has just been awesome. It's been one of my favorites since I even thought about even doing this. And honestly, we check on each other all the time. We tend to, there were times when I didn't know if Bearded was dead because he wouldn't respond to me, and I would be like, man, Did I piss him off? And, he's just busy and doing shit and whatever. And he's got things going on. But it's still, at least he knew that I was checking on him. You know what I mean? And he was checking on me occasionally too. And it's important that we all check on each other. And it's important that you have your list to check on too. If you're feeling down and out, reach out to any one of us. Anyone in this
Welcome, Jarhead.
anyone in this room tonight could
Welcome, Jarhead.
definitely talk you off that wall. So reach out to any one of us though in Discord and get the help you need, man. We're here for you. It's a great family, and I'm glad that I joined it too 14 months ago now. So it's been awesome, man. Thanks. It's been great to meet all you guys, and I'm glad to be a part of this family. So thanks, everybody.
That's enough. I love it.
Fucking
God bless America.
Mine and his humor are identical. They're fucking identical.
For an hour and a half, y'all have been serious, okay? For an hour and a half, y'all were talking about serious things and all that stuff. It's time to loosen up at this point in the podcast, okay? Chat. Where's chat's questions?
I can't get any looser. If I get any looser, things are not staying.
Pants are coming off. That's it.
You asked for it.
Use the Chinese, the kid-size crayons, not the freaking crayons that you get in Las Vegas that are like this.
I'm talking about the pounding I got from the green weenie, and then the pounding I'm getting from the gray weenie since working. That's what I'm talking about.
That's all. Appreciate the gift of sub.
Yes.
I think it's time to end it on the pounding. Where do you go from there?
You don't.
The continuous things that he gets in his rear.
Hey,
there you go.
Just nonstop, man.
Man. So, for you guys listening, thank you.
And he's not a police officer. He's a prison bitch.
All right, that's why I didn't say anything. I didn't want to drag him down. All right, it's his episode, man. Come on.
For like 15 minutes. I feel better. Like the weight is just lifted off.
You feel better. You know what? And I would still not want to do what he does on a day-to-day. No way. I'm good where I'm at.
What?
Yeah.
Spend time with my family and fish whenever I want and stream all day.
I'm not talking about you. I was talking about him, not you.
Yeah, it's funny because neither of us want to do each other's job because we think that each other's job sucks.
No, I mean that's what we told each other at DreamHack. We're like, I was like, I don't want to be you. He was like, oh, I don't want to be you.
Yeah.
If I was physically fit enough still to, physically, like not broken, not physically fit, but broken enough to be not broken, I would be doing different types of things. I'd probably be in federal.
That'd be dope. I thought about that too. A lot of federal agencies want college, and that's something I never really wanted to do.
I don't need it.
Some of them, again, like the cool ones, you need it. The cool ones. The letter agencies, you definitely need it. I tried going to letter agencies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But again, guys, it's, we've been going for 2 hours. Bearded still needs to go get into his gym session, so that's why I'm calling it. The episode's been really good. You guys killed it.
We talked about that. I just want to make sure do some fucking push-ups. You'll be okay. Let's go.
Right.
I need more than just push-ups. Thank you very much. But like we said earlier, Stoney will be on next week, and we're going to have Stoney on next week's episode of the Buddy Check podcast. So we're going to meet another new ambassador. And then what I know you guys are probably waiting for is Nate's episode, because it's submit your questions, guys. Submit me and Ted some fucking questions. Let's get some hard-hitting questions. Jarhead, I know you're gonna send me something. Send me something to say to him, and we'll talk about maybe a little invasion from you, that fucking whatever. Right. But guys, send us some questions. Anything you want to ask Nate. Right. Because Nate sometimes he jokes around a lot, but he can get serious. So make sure you guys, if you guys want to know something about Nate, send him in. I'll gladly ask him.
That's right.
But yeah, dude, it's been this podcast has been great. Thanks for coming, Jarhead. Thanks for surprising everybody, Nate and Ted.
Yeah, brother.
We're gonna keep this train running.
We got to keep it going. That's right. I got your back.
So I appreciate you guys showing up and doing this.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was great.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for this. Was a blast. I had
Yeah.
I had a riot with this.
I'm glad you liked it, and we're gonna keep doing this, and yeah, it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be fucking.
No, but thanks for what you guys do. Actually, getting people on here and getting people heard and getting their story out there, and you know who knows that who was watching in the background lurking that who hopefully you know it connected with someone that you know that it's saving their life. So you guys are doing a phenomenal job. So keep up what you guys are doing.
I appreciate you guys. Now, guys, these two guys, you know, they've been working their asses off for the last couple of years. They're both, you know, kick partners. And so we're going to send it to somebody that's going to be on next week. We're going to send you guys to Stony. Go show her some love. She's still trying to work on getting kick partner and, you know, getting all the, you know, all the requirements and stuff like that. She's been growing, so let's go help her grow some more. So I'm going to host you guys out to Stony. I'm not telling her. I'm hosting you to her. Go show her some love. She's wearing a mustache and a fucking flight cap with some goggles. Guys, help her out. Just go help her out. Catch you guys next week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. See you guys next time. Fucking Stony.
That's awesome.
Oh, she's not there. She's not there. That's great. That's fucking great.
What the hell?
Here's a host. And, oh, there she is. Oh, she still got the. She still got the mustache. Jesus Christ.
That was great.
Okay, Stony.
Holy shit.
Are you guys